Welcome, everybody. This is 3-Card Monte from CBSI Comics and Tales from the FlipSide podcast. This is a new show we're trying out. We're going to do a little bit of a card game, comic game, and have some fun. With me tonight, I've got Mike Morello from Cover Tunes, Peter Renna with Dollar Bin Digging, Chris Nelms with The Fisherman's Tale, and the famous Ben C has come out of hiding to join us for this fun show. Just want to say, check out CBSI for all your comic book speculation investing needs, all the free content that you want. Lots of great articles, including the ones we mention every week, as well as Topher's True First and many, many more. With that, I think we can start the show. Chris, do you want to touch base on the rules?
Sure. Think of this as sort of like categories. We're basically having 3 comics, and we've had a category. So our category in this case is Alien, and we're going to see what books we picked, and then you get points. So you get a point for if you're on topic, if the book is about aliens. If you can get 2 points if the cover has to do with aliens, you get 2 points if we actually have the book in hand. This is one of those. This is not go grab the most expensive book in the world that you never have in your hand, but 2 points, book in hand. And then also, at the end of the night, who out of the 5 of us, who has the most expensive book according to CGC, eBay, and all those different things. So we can earn points, and it's just sort of a fun way to tally whether or not the points mean anything. It's just bragging rights till the next one. So,
all right. So, without further ado, we're going to start book 1 because I know this is going to degrade quickly, and we probably need all the time we get to talk about them. So book 1.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Mike, you get to start us off.
All right. So Star Wars #2, the first appearance of Shalman's Cantina, full of aliens, and they're right here on the cover. I think everyone's pretty aware that I'm sort of the Star Wars nerd of the bunch, and this is technically a tie with this as the first appearance of the Cantina. They both came out in August of '77. This came out after the real #1, the same month this came out, and they both have the same pages printed in them. So take your pick. But now, the fun part about this book, and of course I don't have one, this is a 30-center, but there is a 35-cent variant of this jobby. So that can run you upwards of $1,000 if you find one. Maybe a little less if it's kind of beat up. This is just a regular 30-cent copy, although it is signed by Roy Thomas, if that matters to anybody.
Nice.
But yeah, first appearance of the Cantina and all the aliens. Of course, the aliens were not finalized yet at the time, so some of the images don't quite look like they appear in the film, or at least Marvel hadn't gotten pictures of him yet from Lucasfilm. So,
but no Purple Yoda
yet. Purple Yoda would exist in that weird novelization for Empire Strikes Back, among a few other oddities. But you got Walrus Man on there and a few others that you'd recognize. Navrin Leeds with the gas mask on, he's in there. Some of the early aliens are in there just as they appear in the film, but there's a few that are kind of like generic aliens.
They got
either way.
What's in there?
Their extended universe before extended universe was cool.
Yeah, Peter. But a few of them are on there, like Ponda Baba's there, and that's basically what he ends up looking like in the movie, and a few others. This is actually the scene from the Cantina on the cover. So basically it's the same panel inside. There's a couple of panels in there, and then there's obviously the Greedo and Han conversation, the Hanversation, if you will.
I totally forget that there's 35 centers for the rest of the run too.
Yeah, the first
3? For the first four.
Four?
It might be the first 4. Okay. It's either 3 or 4. I forget. I have to take a look. But yeah. 1, 2, and at least 3, possibly 4. I'd have to check that out.
So watch for the.
I've never even seen enough.
Watch the 2s and 3s because everybody looks for the 1, but nobody's actively hunting the 2 and the 3 that way.
Yeah. Right, and there's a couple of weird reprints too. There's a Whitman. Of course, there's a UK 10 pence variant. I think those are going to pop up soon. Similarly, and there's the Whitman Diamond version. That's a reprint. That's 35 cents with a barcode and without a barcode. There's actually a 30-cent Whitman with no barcode. There's a blank white. That's also apparently really rare. So there's like 5 different versions of that book. But the one that I showed is the regular, everybody can have one, $10 to $15 copy.
I always see the 35-cent reprint in blue.
Oh, yeah.
Get all excited when you see the tiny little reprint. You're like, mother of Christ.
For those that don't know, when you look for those, it says reprint right there in the corner box. That's hard to see. I got some glare going on. But it would be right there in the corner box. And it would say reprint. And then the price would be in a diamond. For those that don't know what Whitmans look like. And that's that.
Nice.
Well, I totally went out of order, but that's all right. We'll roll with it. We're going to go with
I wondered about that.
Peter next. I did a Ben C. I just went with what seemed right at the time.
And it worked.
All right. Well, Mike, you're not the only Star Wars fan, as you can see on the wall. Rocking my Boba Fett shirt. Even got my flag here tonight. But my first pick, and since I'm a dollar bin digger, is going to be on the lowest end, probably the cheapest book any of us will have, because you can find these in bins. And I'm going with Uncanny 234, that Wolverine Brood cover. He said aliens for whatever reason. Yeah, sure, I thought of Fox's aliens, but I thought of the Brood for whatever reason. Maybe it's because they look kind of like it. So when I thought of Brood, I thought of this book. And yeah, you can find this again. It's in dollar bins. You're going to find a lot of them beat up. This black cover, you're going to get a lot of spine ticks. But it's just a great March Silvestri cover. And again, I think a 9.8 in CGC is only like $100. But it's just a fun book. I just like it. Again, first one I thought of, and had to go cheap to start. Being a big X-Men fan, I had to work an X-Men book in here too. So that's my book one.
That's a cool book. I wouldn't even have thought about the Brood.
Me either. Not in a million years.
That's the fun of this, because our brains all went different places.
Yeah, the first one's like 155, but they're not on the cover, I think. But
yeah, it's not till 162.
Yeah, I thought about the close up with like the one close up. I think it's 232 maybe. But I always like this one, so I picked this cover.
Great pick. I wouldn't have got there, but I love it.
That's fantastic.
Peter, have you ever actually seen my arm, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should.
I wasn't sure if you ever noticed that or not.
Nice.
I haven't gone that far.
Marked for life. That's Star Wars forever. I better love it until I die.
All right. Ben, I'm giving you a heads up. Your turn. You ready?
Yeah, all right, Zigzagger.
Just keep us hopping.
All right, so I have a Weird Fantasy 16.
I had a Weird Fantasy in my hand.
Yeah, I debated picking this because I thought Z might come in with this, and
it wasn't the one I had, but I picked about it.
Showing up! Wow.
Oh, 2 copies. Okay, yeah. Everybody, grab your second copy of every book tonight.
Does he get extra credit points for that one?
You don't get extra points for having 2. No.
I wanted to be ahead. So this is classic Feldstein, Al Feldstein. Classic cover. It's one of the first sci-fi books I ever saw when I got back into collecting. It's one of the first books I bought. Apparently twice.
At least.
Yeah,
we know of.
So yeah, I don't know. That's where I figured to I'd jump in the pool.
Right.
Did they ever do an EC reprint of that one?
That's a good question.
I don't think I've seen a single issue of it. I'm sure it's in like the archive stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely in the archives, but I don't know.
I've never seen a reprint of that particular cover. So
that's a great cover. I don't think I've ever seen that cover. That's really awesome.
It reminds me of the Mars Attacks movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking of Simpsons aliens for some reason.
All right, Chris, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So, Peter, we were on the same wavelength. I was doing Brood the entire time. Here's the entire run of all the Brood.
See, he's double cheating. He's just throwing a whole row of them.
So I struggled choosing which issue. I just wondered if I was thinking value. I was like, oh man, out of that run, the best one is 166 that has the first Lockheed. But the cover that's just gorgeous brings me up. I think it's Kitty Pryde, and then you can't go wrong there. And it has that sort of good girl image, which this little run of Kitty Pryde covers are just great. 168 is one of my favorite covers ever. That one where she's backing up against the wall. But yeah, then this entire run, I love it. Sadly, I don't have any actually really good copies of it. I have 166. I was digging through, and I have one that's just roached completely, like staple coming out, and see that there.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I was wanting a complete run. I wrote an article a while back about just getting a crap copies better than no copy, and then eventually I've worked my way up to where I have one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, but yeah, the issues. I mean, you can get it for $3-4. It's a dollar bin book pretty much all day long, but it's a great cover. I'm surprised it doesn't get more love because you're talking X-Men and the Good Girl cover vibe. That's probably the only one I've really seen that covers that on both sides. So.
No, I don't usually think of that book, but I get where you're at, man. That's a good value pick there.
It's from a great run.
There's something with that book.
Go ahead, Mike.
There's something with that book. I'm looking it up right now. I thought there's something in that book, some sort of like minor key thing going on in that book. Am I wrong?
Dude, we're not going down that fucking road.
All right, I'm cutting him off before he dives into the Matrix and we never see him again.
Yeah, origin of binary.
No,
and then
Origin
and
of
she comes out
binary.
in the next issue.
Oh, okay.
See, if we announce it, it's pump and dump.
Yep.
If an alert goes out, it's fucking $30.
well, they'll just watch it. It'll be fine.
No, I'm sorry. There's nothing. That book that's a $1 book.
All right. I know you guys are expecting me to go way out on a limb right away. I'm going to fool you and stay a little more center. I'm going to do a variant. How about that?
Oh.
Ooh.
Mars Attack.
Ooh.
Occupation 1. It is a Frazetta homage, and it's got the great Mars Attacks aliens that you just mentioned, which was unplanned. And homage to the Weird Science Fantasy 17. So
29.
Yeah, 29. Damn it.
29.
That was my brain. 29.
Well,
that's why we brought you.
Yeah, well. I'm gonna talk about
So, like I said, I wanted to go with something that's not hard to find. I mean, it's not common, but it's from the IDW run from about maybe 5 years ago. Great cover, great homage. There was also a Fear Agent kind of homage that I toyed with, but I like the Mars Attacks aliens a little more as far as the theme.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can find this for under $10.
Mm.
I think it's just a 1 in 10.
To find. No, I think that's but it's.
The Fear Agent's probably $100 book now. So, all right, we ready to move on?
Original lineup now?
Are we what?
You want to go to original lineup? Let me go first with book 2.
Sure. What? Just let's make it crazy. Why not? We'll
The
go
only
back
reason
on
I'm bringing
plan.
that up is because you just
I was all ready.
Don't worry. Round 3, I'll do what I want. I'm going to play Drew Carey here, like his game where points mean nothing. That's what we're doing here.
Well,
I can go where I want here. All right, Peter, you're up.
You just mentioned it, so there's my book 2. Which is why I was like, oh, it's a perfect opportunity to go next.
It was on my list, and I realized I sold the 2 I
figured
had.
somebody might pick it, but it's just a great story. I mean, I get that, like you said, it's like $100 book now, but that's because I think it got optioned, and hopefully they make it. Hopefully they make it well, but it's just a great read. It's just a lot of fun.
Is that the variant? All right.
no, that's cover.
No, that's the original.
Okay, right. Okay.
It's the original, but as you
There's
said,
a variant that's like color change. It's like white.
No, it's the Ashcan. The Ashcan's white.
Yeah, it's the Ashcan.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah.
I just sold that sucker. The Ashcan.
Again, that's why you bring me here.
Well, I tell you what, I bought that. It's not the omnibus. It's the oversized artist edition or whatever. Just because that book's so beautiful, it's a hell of a read, and it's a monster.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's a
It's
great
definitely a good read. So when we were talking about the rules, like, are we going content and cover? I'm like, well, this is kind of a pick was more for content, more so than the cover, even though the covering is a good homage. But it was the content that drew me here. I still see Nathan Fillion playing this, even though
he's just almost too old. But man, that'd be fantastic.
I still see it in my head when I was reading it. That's still what I'm seeing in my head. But
I envisioned a young Keaton, but all right. Now I got to go to Ben though. But this is going to throw him off. I don't know if he's ready.
I told you. So this was supposed to be Strange Adventures 4 or 5. Whatever the Ditko cover is, I think maybe it's 5 because the 4 is the half-naked people in the fucking capsule things. Oh no, maybe that's Strange Worlds. All right, so I chose this book as a backup. I'm going down a rabbit hole I can't get back from.
Oh, that is one that
pretty freaking
eludes
cover.
me. It
What is
eludes
that?
me all the time.
So this is Rockets in the
That is a
Moon.
gorgeous cover.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous. I mean, like, it's got the alien dude. Where am I here? It's got the alien dude, but like, I mean, that's a good girl. That's a good girl cover from the 50s, man.
I almost bid on that book every time it's listed. I mean, literally every time I think, why did I buy it? And then it's too expensive. And I go, why didn't I buy it last time? Yeah, you probably bought one that I said, next time, I'll get the next one.
Yeah.
Why not? That was probably 3 books ago.
So that was supposed to be a Ditko, but I'll take a. Oh Jesus, I should have known that. I'll take a Joe Orlando cover. So
Nice.
All right, Chris.
All right, so this is one of those. It has more of a story to it, just because I like telling stories. This is one of those stupid. You go to do a Craigslist auction, like some guy's offering something on Craigslist, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check it out." And I was determined to buy something, so I convinced myself that it was worth more than it was.
Those are the best.
Oh yeah, because it was early in my collecting, so outside of that, I'd only been diving in dollar bins. So I was like, I want to see if I can get a good book. So I show up, and this guy had a huge run of Conan, but at the time I wasn't Mike, so I didn't care about Conan. And so I ended up. They did have some. He had a run of House of Mysteries, and I got all excited for this book here, thinking it was something. And I thought it was this great Martian Manhunter cover, but I thought it was like his first appearance, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's great condition. I'll pay. Yeah, $40, no big deal. And then I got home and actually did research and found out that, oh, wait, that's like his 3rd appearance, and it's not even his first cover, I don't think.
There's something about that book, but it's one of those minor little details that it was hot for a second about something.
It's a back origin, I think, because
Okay,
I
that's what I thought,
tried
too.
to make that run, and that was it's such a great
Can you show
cover.
it again, though?
Yeah.
I always get a Simpsons vibe from that monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the 3-eyed fish.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
But the rest of the run's just stupid, like weird. It's this orange alien like singing songs, and it's all like goofy silliness. So like at one point I tried to collect the entire thing too. This was the hardest one to find, but I started with it, so it was a little bit easier. But yeah, it's a 4. I mean, I didn't lose money, but it's definitely not the be all. Oh man, I found something amazing. It was like, oh crap, I just got an old book that's worth $40.
It might be
It's still cool as hell.
first Space Ranger in the title too.
First
It's
space.
some weird shit because I ended up going after that.
It has
Like,
something.
I wouldn't know that book if it wasn't
Yeah.
if there wasn't something that sticks out besides the insane early 50s sci-fi vibe.
Yeah.
Something in the Supergirl series when he came on that was tied to it. I don't remember exactly what.
Yeah. I think it did. That's probably why it was in my mind. I was like, I'm looking for this book because I mean, Detective 225 is really hard to track down. So,
Oh yeah, you're gonna go find that baby.
so, but so that's when I would think of aliens, Brood, and then Martian Manhunter, are the first 2 that popped in my mind. So,
Oh, good grief! All right, so here's where I'm gonna go off the rails,
all right.
Yay!
and you're gonna go. Well, Ben's pick seems sane.
Oh,
Not
yes.
Holy
This
shit!
is issue 157. This one happens to be autographed by Duran. This cover is one that does not get the attention of some of the others. But these green aliens, I mean, as soon as you guys said aliens, this was the first book I thought of.
Wow.
They're
Oh,
the
yeah.
traditional little green men with little antennas and ray guns. And you got a pretty solid Gwen Stacy good girl vibe going on. So this one was the one that was definitely going to get listed the entire time we talked about this. So
That's just
It's a pretty nice copy too.
it's in Mylar, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It is not bad. So.
you guys
Mylar,
definitely
the
figured
great
out that.
corrector.
It
Oh,
is.
Mylar makes them all look,
Everything's at least 2 grades higher in a Mylar.
How many of those covers exist? Like that little run of
44, but there's like one that's a different cover but the same innards, so it's a little confusing.
So
but yeah, I've gotten to about 33 of the issues, and at this point, I've almost given up on them. Every once in a while, somebody gets me excited. I might get 1 or 2, but they've become so tough to get. I just don't chase them that often. So some are not that exciting. This, in my mind, is one I like the most. Just good girl vibe and the aliens. You can't go wrong with that. So
yeah, no, that cover's insane.
Mike, we are going back to you now that you're in the proper order.
All right.
God knows what to do next round.
I just heard you say something about little green men and antenna and ray guns. And Ben, you tell me what this is.
Oh, that's such a good book.
Archies Madhouse Annual number 3.
That has to be Sabrina.
You know what the significance of that is? It is. It's the first reprint 3 years later of the first appearance of Sabrina.
Yeah.
So 22, it reprints all of 22 Sabrina stories in there. There's also the space section, which is it's the alien stuff. And people collect just these alien covers from Archie. I mean, I'm not sure I understand why, but this happens to be one. And this is the first thing I thought of when this topic came up this week was this book, because I think this book is grossly undervalued. Because Archie's Madhouse 22 is so hard to get, and this is literally like 3 years later. It's a nice silver reprint. I don't know why it's not worth more. Now that said, it's fat. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is fat. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Man, it's probably really hard to see, but
it just makes
it is a box bound. Yeah, this one's a fairly decent copy. It's got one little thing going on it, but I mean, decently graded copies are $50, $75, and if you want a really nice one, it's going to cost you. But I mean, that's a far cry from what Archie's Madhouse 22 costs now. I don't even know what that thing costs now, but it sort of goes in little waves.
I think it's a few hundred a point almost, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's about right. Yeah,
I sold. I had a couple of 6.5s that I sold when it was really hot for pushing $2,000. So
yeah, people kind of forgot about it for a little while.
Yeah.
Come back down.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Peter, you're right. Which is too bad.
I'll never get rid of it.
Well, I bought one of those. I bought one of those 6.5s for $200 and one for $300 when it was heading up, and I was like, Jesus, you people know what you're doing.
2015.
My copy of 22 is a weird one. All of a sudden, I get a call from one of my LCSs and says, "Hey, there's an Archie's Madhouse 22 in your box." And I'm like, "There is?" Like, yeah, we got it in the other day, and somebody was in here and said, "Morello's going to want that. Put it in his box and call him." And to this day, I still don't know who it was. That did, but I'm like, you're damn right, I want it.
I texted you. Rick's had it.
I was in the shop.
What's that?
I texted you and told you the store had it.
You were the one that told me that they had it?
And then you called them.
Okay. So then before I got there, the book was already pulled off the wall and in my box.
Okay.
Did you tell him to do that?
I don't know, because I sent you a message as soon as I saw it and say, "Hey, this is here."
And I was going exactly. I called them right there, and when I talked to them, they were like, "Yeah, someone already told me to put it in your box. It's in your box already, waiting for you." Maybe they did. Maybe they thought that's what you meant when you
How do I point right? Fuck. That's a
Maybe they did. Either way, when I got there, they pulled it out of my hold box, and I didn't ask them to put it there because I didn't think at the time I didn't think they would do that for I think it was $300 or $250 or something like that. I forget what it was, but I was super surprised. I'm like, okay, that sounds good to me. I'll be right there to get it.
I walked into the shop one day, and the 22-year-old counter kid goes, "Hey, you're one of those guys that likes old books," and pulls it out from a stack he's bagging, and I'm like, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." It's like, how much? $200. Yes. Can I give you this money before anyone else walks in this store?
Mine was in a short box at the LCS. I said, "How much is that?" He said, $50. I said, "Take 40." He said, "Sure." To be fair, it was like 20.
It's an Archie book. It can't be worth more than 50.
Well, it was Guide. Guide was 50 for a fine back in 2013.
In 2012, 2013, you might have overpaid.
2012, 2014, I bought more books at Guide or like 30% off guide for being a good customer, and like, that's another show. Like, fuck.
A trip down Ben's lack of memory lane. We could do some fun stuff there.
It's not great in the shop that still uses the Overstreet guide.
So it died off like 2 years ago, Peter. Like right about, this is going to shock everyone. In 2016, when Massachusetts like adopted medical marijuana, I took a year off from CBSI.
It wasn't really a year off. You just don't remember what happened.
All right, I took a step back for about fucking 6 months. And when I came back, I started like going to buy books again, and everyone was a dealer. Everyone knew what CBSI was. Everyone was like the hot 10s on everybody's wall. I'm like, well, that's too bad. Like, no more OSPG buying. No more,
None of the good stuff.
I get stories, but I probably don't want to tell them.
All right, you guys want me to go in the real order, or do you want me to really mess with you?
Yeah, let's mess with this. It's a difference.
Yeah, roll the dice.
I'm surprised we haven't duplicated yet. There's no dupes yet.
Yeah,
Chris,
no dupes yet.
John and I.
This is the one chance I have to duplicate with Ben. It's my only like.
Holy shit!
Style Planet Comics number 62.
Oh, that's
gorgeous
a good
cover. Got the aliens. Got the guy with the number across his chest, and then of course the gorgeous girl climbing up the ladder with the gun. But great book. I was so excited. My LCS posted pictures of it online just before they opened. I called the second the store opened and got it, and actually had a friend in the store trying to buy it, and I beat him to it.
All right, and you don't know this.
Morello.
No, but I was calling. 5 minutes later, I called, and then Chris and I chatted about it. I was going to buy that book too, so it wasn't like
that's got some nice coloring to it.
It's a melee for that book.
Yeah, it's
gorgeous.
I mean, it's a little rough on the edge a little bit, but
pretty.
It displays beautifully.
And those Golden Age books, man, you don't worry about the stuff you can't see as much.
I mean,
if it's complete, it's got good color, you buy it.
It was $70. So
how much?
$70.
Oh my god!
So this store every once in a while will have like some amazing coverage, and you're just like, how did that slip through? Because he's a Golden Age guy, like the guy who prices everything, but he prices it to sell. So it's like,
and he prices it by fucking guide, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's an Overstreet guy. He actually does some writing for Overstreet.
He is an Overstreet writer, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Or advisor or whatever. Yeah.
Testify. Give me some.
I mean, he's a good guy. He hooks Mike and I up all the time.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Is that Starbase?
No, not Starbase.
Starbase is not a great guy. Starbase is great. That's where Mike works.
talk about someone who's hooked me up. Starbase. I mean, honestly, my collection would be nothing without Starbase. It really would.
Well, Mike, I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself and see what you stole from Chris at some point.
Okay, I did too, because no one else was even able to get this. This went right to me as soon as it came in to Starbase. She is from Draculon, so she's an alien.
I was going to give you that.
His favorite book.
There it is.
I wouldn't have thought but I get where you're at, man.
So I had to do it, mostly because I think a lot of people just think she's a vampire, but she's really not. She's an alien from Dracula.
She's a vampire, guys.
There you go. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's not the most beautiful copy in the world. It's a nice copy. It's a good. Nothing's missing. It shows really well. It's got some ticks on the spine, but otherwise, it's a pretty solid copy. And obviously, this was a Grail book for me, so I'm super happy to own it in any condition. And there you have it.
I think that's a Grail book for most people, man.
I wish I would own more. I only own one.
Yeah, that's the only one I have.
It's one more than me.
No, I don't feel bad about making asshole statements earlier. If only I owned more than one Vampirella one.
Hey,
I only have one.
For a minute or two, I owned two, but as soon as I got a nicer one, I sold the lower one.
I do have two. I do have two number 3s though.
Only
I just
one.
sold the number 3.
That's the rare one, I guess.
I had a really nice number
it's
3
the white.
but it was probably until 2014, and I sold it for too little.
Yep. I sold one like 2 weeks ago for fine money.
Good money.
Like, it was fine. Like,
yeah.
I bought it in 2012, 2013. Like,
Peter, I'm going to let you go before Ben may or may not ramble on the last pick. So,
all right. Last one, another. I thought a story first, so I was worried somebody else might pick this.
Ooh,
Almost.
good call.
Is that first print?
Man, I get so obsessed with the cover. I didn't think story. That is probably the best of the story theory.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I
hands
thought of. Like, adult Star Wars, as people like to reference it. I mean, it's odd, sure, but it's going to come back. I know it's been on hiatus a while, but it's coming back, whether they adapt it or not. This is
how did we all not pick a saga? Jesus.
Oh, my God.
I always assumed somebody else was going to pick it, so I was like, well, I don't care if somebody else picks it. I'm just putting it in there.
That's a great pick.
Again, first thing I thought of. These are the first three things I thought of when we threw the thing down. I went and grabbed them out of the box. The hardest one I had to find was that Fear Agent because I didn't know what box I'd put it in. It was in a recent read box.
Indies, Sell, Keep. That's first print, right? That's first print's the orange logo, right? Okay.
I had books I had a set of books. I couldn't find them. I'm so pissed. And I was like, well, I can't afford to not have them.
Well, I'm putting the towel. I'm not getting highest value of any of these books, so I was like, I'm just gonna solid. Just these are them. Hopefully, I don't get.
That's got to be the best story out there, right? Like from the past decade.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's weird that we can go that far because that's from 2012.
Yeah.
Right.
That or Monstrous. Either that or Monstrous.
I still remember buying that off the shelf. I didn't buy this copy off the shelf, but I bought a copy off the shelf. I have no idea where the hell it went.
Werewolf 32.
Hey, it's somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's here.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's in someone else's collection. Is where it is.
Exactly.
I once sold a book, couldn't find it. Looked through every box I owned 3 times. Called our friend Walker and said, "I need a copy to send to this guy." Literally 18 months later, I found it because I had put it flat on a bookshelf in the living room.
Ooh, yeah.
I came home one day, and that was
Put
the
it
last
aside so I wouldn't forget it.
That was the last time I didn't keep eBay books in a box. This is the eBay zone. If you are on eBay, you're in this box. That was a lesson learned.
Walker pulls one of his 38 copies for you.
Well,
yes.
I knew that ass, right?
Fucking.
And for those that don't know the story, Ben will reference his Werewolf by Night 32 that he's missing often.
From the bank.
It's going to come up at least once a show. Maybe
I
more.
have one.
Maybe by episode 3-4 he'll find it,
Yeah.
I've been bamboozled. No, I've been. Well, there's still books to go, boxes back there, but
it could be missing somewhere.
it had to have gotten traded away, and I just thought so low of it at the point that I just got rid of it.
Hey, you probably got something good.
Oh, I'm sure it was fine. I never gave Bronze Age respect until it cost me money, and then it was too fucking late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mary Marvel up in the corner for me.
yeah, I found that on the fucking ground. So,
oh, Mister, I found a Golden Age WoW in the ground.
Oh,
Making fun of me and my 2 Vampirellas.
I was using this as a coaster for a while.
It was under the laptop. I was using it as a shelf.
It was on the floor. Mm-hmm.
All right. Since I picked you got to give your book now.
All right. This is another one that I mean Z knows. I think I bought this twice because I got all excited and told him, and he was like, "You have that." I'm like, "Oh." Well,
oh yeah, that's cool.
I was talking about that in a moment, but man, that's one of them I think of as Alien. That's it. So strange.
Yeah, as soon as Chris said Alien, it was over. It was just.
Which number is that for our watching audience?
It's 5, and that's
5.
So. The issue before this is the one with the people in the clear pods. That's half. It's the naked people cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's famous. It's like that and Punch 20 something that has the naked. It's like 2 naked covers in comics. Fun fact. Well, yeah.
Well, 2 in traditional comic sense.
Yeah, and not underground.
Open everything since then.
So I don't know. As soon as Chris said Alien, I thought, oh, okay, I got this. That was a go-to, and then I figured, yeah, Z would remember being like, "No, dude, you have that." I'm like, "Yeah."
Well,
Fuck it, I got two.
All right, so I went with one that I was a little worried Ben might pull out, but he didn't. If we're gonna think aliens, I think of one run. Even though when I looked at it, there weren't that many aliens actually on the covers. The Frazetta Famous Funnies,
Ooh, yeah.
212. Just the flying saucer, the aliens, the red dress girl, Buck Rogers kind of going out to save her. It just, this is the actually, believe it or not, one of the few that actually have an alien feature on the cover, which it all makes me think aliens the whole run, but this was the one where the aliens were front and center. So
yeah, that's the thing.
Great.
Yeah,
Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon, a lot of them didn't have aliens on the covers necessarily.
No, I went through a lot of Flash Gordons in my head, and I'm like, there's not aliens on the early ones. I mean, later ones, yeah, as you kind of got into the King run and the Charlton run, or Charlton run. But in the Dell and stuff, a lot of them are pretty mundane, pretty boring covers. So this, I mean, all the Famous Funnies make you think space, but they don't always make you see alien.
When did it switch over to the aliens? Because wasn't it just old comic strips at one time?
A Famous Funnies is always a conglomerate of strips and just different stories. It just this cover though.
New content started in the early 40s. Famous Funnies was one of the first comics.
It is, but I'm not saying it's all reprints. I'm just saying it's always kind of been a jump around series.
There's some really good books on there too. I just sold a book from that run, the Invisible Scarlet O'Neill issue.
Because there's war stories right before this and right after it. It jumps to any kind of content. Funny animals.
There's a post Frazetta Buck Rogers too. It's 226 or something. It's a bright yellow cover.
Yeah.
It just doesn't compare to the masterpieces that preceded it. So
no, that's a problem. Frazetta ruined
everybody.
A lot of stuff. He's there. Have fun.
So we didn't really discuss this, but is somebody actually going to score this bad boy and figure out what happened?
I think since we all chose different books, the only thing that's going to separate us, I mean, everyone had aliens. So the only thing that separates us is who had the highest value book. So
the Top Gear, just make up numbers.
Just make.
Well, I'm going to post the rules. So we all had On Topic, right?
Yeah.
We all had cover connection. Basically,
we all had them in hand. So it's just going to be.
Oh God, highest value then.
So it really comes down to you guys. So, so definitely is a battle between the Vampirilla and then whichever Ben and Z book.
I don't think any of mine were over let's say 300 or 400. I think Vampy's ahead of that. I don't know where the Strange Worlds is.
I'm going to concede to the Vampy because I don't want to talk about values on these books.
Vampy's going to win. We're going to call Mike.
I think, man, just on the cool factor of playing the fucking... You shocked me, brother. I honestly thought you were just I like this book. I'm like, that's cool.
I mean, I know it in the back of my head, but I sure did not think about it. So
that wins on coolness alone, right?
I just like the fact you were able to pull out a sexy girl cover to win it on your cover tunes theme all the way through. I would never have made that alien connection at all with that.
Well, if you were going to do cover tune themes, you should have done the rears and done
Mike,
since
you're the winner.
Backwards.
Mike, you're the winner. You want to choose the next topic?
No buts.
If I was going to do that, if I was going to do cover tunes, I had all this stuff ready to go: Alien Worlds and Alien Encounters. I was worried that Nelms. Sorry, wrong way. Oh man, everything's backwards.
There you go. You got
I was worried that Nelms was going to choose all these books, so I said no. I'm not going to choose those. But
no, it is a little stressful trying to figure out what everybody else is going to do.
Yeah.
So
that's really what was on my mind.
All right, so you get to choose topic for episode 2. I guess we've decided. Mike, what do you want to do?
All right, since I already pulled the books for this topic, jungle theme.
Whoa,
Jungle
that's
theme.
gonna be a tough one. I think
Jungle
Ben's
theme.
gonna be okay, but
I was going to say I called Ben as the winner for next week, but I think I have some good ones.
I don't know if I have anything of value. What'd you say, Chris?
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's
Jungle.
gonna be good.
Yeah.
Well,
There's some
I'm for the value
stuff
game.
modern. You just got to think harder, though. Aliens is easy. Jungle is a little tough, so I
got
appreciate
one.
it.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you got a
I got one.
ruler.
Yeah. All right, so we
Don't
had a
you?
fun night.
Yeah.
I'm going to,
Yeah.
thank everybody coming. We're going to, check out CBSI. We're going to do an article based on this when it drops, and you can read it and kind of read a little bit more about our picks. That's the goal of the show, is to show it and to let you read about it and see it. So check that out tomorrow when this launches, and we'll see you back next week for the jungle. So right on.
Jungle.
Let's
Sounds
check
good.
it out.
Welcome to the jungle.
All right, night, guys.
All right.
Later, guys.
Good night.